Hey everybody, welcome back to the couch for week 13, episode 13. It's a spooky number. It's fitting that this is episode 13 because I'm surrounded by Halloween stuff right now. My wife loves Halloween and loves decorating for Halloween, and I love seeing her get excited. So we got stuff all over the place. Got witches and bats and spiders and ghosts and a skeleton and a candy corn with googly eyes. I like it. Candy corn gets a bad rap, don't you think? I like candy corn. I think I got it from my dad. But every year people make fun of candy corn like it's not delicious. And it's no good. It's a weird thing. Everybody does it. It's like candy corn is the Nickelback of the candy world. And it's like, if you don't like it, there's other candy for you. Just move on. That's my new cause. I'm here to defend candy corn because it's delicious. The problem probably is that you're eating too much of it, and anything that you eat 6 pounds of is going to start tasting bad. Anyways, I'm in a good mood today, despite I had a Facebook interaction this morning with a guy who used a word that I found unsavory. Because I'm a gentleman, we'll call it the R word, and I am not on board. And I'm a pacifist, and I believe in using your words, and I believe in trying to change people's minds, even when they fill you with rage. So I had to calm myself and try to be eloquent and tell him to watch his goddamn mouth. But hopefully the message was received, and hopefully I was gentle enough that he's still in a place where he feels it would be acceptable to change positions. Because I still think that's the idea. I still think the goal is to change some minds, and it's hard to do that when you start swinging. But some people need a good smack. These are decisions I'm glad I don't have to make. Other than that, I've been feeling surprisingly productive. Been getting a lot of stuff done, which feels really good. I've said before, doing stuff and keeping busy is one of the ways I sort of keep my brain under control. And it's hard for me to feel anxious or depressed or anything when I'm hard at work on a record or something. So I've been finally recording some songs again now that my throat is starting to come back. It's not, I wouldn't even say it's even close to being all the way back to what it was, but between my evolving abilities and knowledge about how it's messed up, I'm figuring out how to use it, and it's getting better. So I'm recording some songs. My instrumental record is up on Spotify now. I'll drop a link for that and for one of the new songs I released called A Little Longer. I'm real proud of that song. And, keeping busy is also a really good way to sort of keep the noise down. I spent a long time working on something yesterday, and Tori, my wife, said, "How's it going?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "It might not turn out very well, but even if it turns out bad and I don't release it, it still kept me busy for several hours and kept me off of Facebook and that kind of thing. So, success." What else? It's also been nice because before this all started, I was working on a record in a studio with my friend Caleb, and I wouldn't say we were almost finished, but we were far enough along that you could see the finish, and we were really excited. It was sounding really good. I was really proud of the songs. I think it was gonna be my best record, and hopefully someday it still will be, but we've put that all on hold for now because we didn't want to I don't want to release a full-length record mid-pandemic when it might get lost in the shuffle. But I also don't want to finish it if I'm not going to release it, because I don't want to release a record that's been done for a year and that I'm bored with. So it's just kind of on hold. And maybe the blessing in that has been that other songs have come. I think I've written 10 or 12 songs since then, and they've found their way out and that kind of thing. I released an EP a while back, and I'll have another one coming out probably in December. And I'll tell you more about that when it makes more sense to talk about that. But it sure does feel good to be working and making stuff. And I've just learned about myself that I'm not going to be happy if I'm not making stuff. And I think part of that has to do with I think about death and dying quite a bit, not in like a morose way, but just it seems odd to me that other people don't think about it a lot. Like, life is all we do, and then one day, often by surprise, we just stop doing it. And we're not supposed to talk about it. And it's strange. And I find that the more I think about it, the more comfortable I get with it. And but I do have this impulse to leave some stuff behind, because I'm keenly aware that we go away very quickly. Your options really are to be very, very notable in some way. You can either be Abraham Lincoln or, Ted Bundy or somebody. And if you can pick, I would always go Lincoln. That's just me. But if you're not either extraordinarily good and known for that, or extraordinarily evil and known for that, ask yourself how much you really know about your great grandparents. And that's only 2 generations. Those are people that your parents spent time with. But, time does what it does, and after a couple generations, we pretty much get washed away, which I think is liberating in a way. I think it could, if you let it, it could provide a lot of focus. If you say, like, I pretty much have this chunk of time to do with it what I can, and that might be it. So maybe that would make you take more risks, or maybe it would make you nicer, or maybe it would make you crank out a bunch of songs and feel like hopefully you're leaving a small imprint on the world. I love so many songwriters that were never famous in their time, many of whom weren't even really successful. A lot of my heroes died on somebody else's couch. And I'm grateful that won't be my lot in life, but there's some inspiration to be taken there that, just because you don't get to see what your work does, that doesn't mean your work isn't going to do something. So I feel like my job is still just to make the work and put it out, and let the world do with it what it will. There's Halloween decorations outside that keep like rattling against the door and they're spooky. There's a great Pete Holmes bit where he talks about people that are afraid of flying, and I appreciate this joke because I'm one of those people. I'm afraid of flying. I wasn't always afraid of flying, but somewhere along the way I just got there, and it's on my list of stuff to work through, because I would like to go visit my parents. They live in Australia, and I can't swim that far. So gotta defeat the fear, and that's what fear is for anyways. But Pete Holmes has this really funny bit about people that are afraid to fly because the plane could just crash. And he goes, what do you think a stroke is? You're in a plane right now that sometimes they just crash. And I love that, because it's making fun of, it's having fun with something that I think is intimidating and something I think is scary, which is death. And but it's an excellent point. Like, you think you're in control, and you just never are, because I've heard countless stories of even healthy young people that just turned off. They don't know what happened. And I think given that if we can keep that in the front of our minds, it'll affect our behavior hopefully in a really good way, and it might get us on the plane. And it's good to get on the plane, I think. But now we're dipping towards metaphor. It's like with COVID. I think a lot of people, my wife and I were talking about with COVID, it's like every day you wake up and the whole world could be different. You know, we're living through a time right now where the president is in the hospital, and you could wake up in the morning and find out we have a new president. And what does that mean for the election? And what does that mean for the Supreme Court? And it's chaos. And oh my gosh. But I just started thinking, like, that's always true. You know, these times feel more chaotic than most, I'll admit that. But again, I just think COVID comes along and just kind of shines a flashlight into the corner where we thought we were keeping our sense of control and our security, and goes, there's nothing over there, guy. This could all change in a heartbeat in a million different ways. And it's one of the reasons, again, that I try to resist writing off an entire year because bad things happen. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, bad things are going to happen and good things are going to happen, and neither are completely in my control. And it seems less and less like any of it's in my control. So I'm just going to try to do what I can in my corner of the world, which sometimes means writing a song, sometimes means sitting down with my son and passing on a lesson. Sometimes it means staying up late with my wife and having fun. Sometimes it means, you know, you used R word on my Facebook page and we're going to have a chat. I don't know who raised you, but I'm here to step in and finish the job. That was tricky though, because my impulse was to just delete it because I don't want that stuff. You know, I think people come to me for a certain thing, and I don't want them scrolling through my stuff and seeing stuff that's going to make them sad. But then I thought, we got to change this guy's mind. We got to fix the way he's thinking, and hopefully it'll make those people feel better to know, like, I'm on their side and I'm sticking up for them, and they don't have to carry the weight today. Because to me, that's what being an ally is. It's I'm not personally affected by this thing, but I think I can speak to it in a way that will give someone who is personally affected by it a break from speaking to it. And then the flip side of that is knowing when it's not your place to speak, and it's complicated. Should we do a song? Let's do a song. We'll do a song about dying. A lot of my songs are about dying, just because, like I said, it's not morose and it's not morbid. It's not even sad. It's in fact, for a long time, I would just introduce this song. I would say, this is a happy song about dying, and I would go right into it. But if you want to know the story, I will open with, I'm totally fine. And then I will tell you that I have a cyst on my brain. And I learned from about a year of playing shows that you have to open with, I'm totally fine. Because if you play like 5 or 6 songs for people and you make them laugh and they start to like you, and then you say, I have a cyst on my brain, it sucks all the air out of the room. So I'm fine, but I have this cyst on my brain. And when they found it, it was not totally clear that I was fine. And what feels like eternity that passes between finding out you have a cyst on your brain and finding out you're going to be fine is a complicated time. My dad flew out to be with me while they were doing tests and scans and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it was a scary, sad, emotional time that was punctuated by a lot of relief and joy and that kind of thing. And, I'm supposed to get it checked up on more often than I do. I know someone in the comments is going to tell me to go get it checked up on, and I will. The problem is there's a pandemic outside, and MRIs are super expensive because we live in one of the most developed countries in the world and haven't figured out that health should be a human right. But I digress. So I have this cyst on my brain, and in the time period is close to a week, I would say. In the time period between finding out I had it, finding out I was fine, I wanted to write a song for my son because at the time he was very, very young. He was like 1 maybe, and I was thinking I might be checking out, and I need to leave something behind for him that has everything he needs in one place. So I was going to write a song about, excuse me, I was going to write a song about, you know, wear a seatbelt, be nice to people, treat your mom good, wear a condom, all this kind of stuff that dads should teach their kids. But what I realized is it's hard to write that song in that moment. Luckily, the song came when the moment passed. When I found out I was going to be fine, all of a sudden this song came. And it's called Worry Will Wait. And it's just the abbreviated version of some stuff I want my son to know about life and about me. And I'll do it for you now. Where will all your friends be when you start saying what you mean? I've been holding my tongue and I've been grinding my teeth. Just enough history in this town to wanna leave. I need new songs, I need new stories, I need new streets. Yeah, town ain't much of nothing, home is only where you sleep. So put my body in the river, my spirit in my son. Put my fingers on that guitar when they reach for their guns. If every sentiment gets used before I write this song, just tell him that I tried to get it right and got it wrong. But don't spend your late nights worrying, come the morning they'll be gone. I found some joy beneath these feet, between the ditches where we live. I found that worry will wait, and your mama was a gift. Joy, it looks so good on you, so get to where it is. If you fall in love too often, you'll have to wonder if you did. It's okay to feel alright sometimes. This time is all we get. So lay me in Kentucky and play the music that I love. But don't worry about angels or some heaven kept above. 'Cause my peace was in my love for you, that's where it'll stay. It can only grow even if I've gone away. While the trumpet sounds your laughter and the choir sings your name. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Let's have some coffee in the Hey Everybody mug, which is on a Johnny Cash coaster, because I listened back to some of these and I could hear every time I slammed my mug down on the table. A couple recommendations today. This one's fun. This gentleman is named Will Stewart. This album is called County Seat. The story behind my ownership of this album is right in front of you. It's this album cover here. I was in Nashville. We were spending Thanksgiving with my parents. They flew in and we were hanging out in Nashville. It was just a fun place to meet. And I went to Grimey's, which is kind of a legendary record store. And this record was just sitting there. And I thought, that's a good looking album cover. And as I have many times in life, I bought it because I like the album cover. And as I was walking out of the store, I realized that it is on Cornelius Chapel Records, which is a label that a friend of mine works with. And lucky me, it's a phenomenal record. I guess you'd call it a country record. He's from Alabama. There's a different kind of twang in Alabama that I really like. There's just, I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of Alabama bands I like that are doing a thing that's just a little bit different. You know, punk bands and country bands and all kinds of bands. This record is a country record, but it's got a lot of space on it and a lot of atmosphere. And then sometimes it's really driving, and it's got a few instrumental things on it. And I just really like it. Check out Equality Alabama off this record, and take a chance sometimes and buy a cool looking album. It's good for you. Next we have Bad Books. This record is called 2. It's their second record. I think I know where they got the name. Bad Books is notable because it features members of a band I like called Manchester Orchestra. It also features a gentleman named Kevin Devine, who also makes music I like. And it's great. It's really good. Let's see. They have a new record. I'm going to give you 2 songs from this band. They have a new record called 3. And there's a song on there called Wheel Well that I'm going to put a link for you guys. It's tremendous. And it's a song, it's the kind of song that I love because it's dealing in really big ideas about life and existence and that kind of thing in a fairly small song. It's a real intimate, quiet song, and I want you guys to hear it. This record has a ton of good songs on it too. There's one called Peter, but it's spelled Pyotr because it's about a Russian guy, and it's real sad and real good. But I'm going to have you guys listen to a song called Forrest Whitaker. It's a little different than the stuff I usually give you guys, but it's notable because the first song I heard from this band was Forrest Whitaker, and it was on a TV show, and my son heard it as well, and he just went nuts for it. He really loved it, and then he said, "Can we get the record?" And I said, "Sure." And now the Gold fam is really into this band, and we got there via my son's enthusiasm for new music, which is nice. It's I live in constant fear of the scientific supposed truth that as you get older, you like new music less and less. I haven't experienced that just yet, and I also haven't experienced that like glory years feeling of like you listen to something you listened to when you were 15 and you go, "See, this was real music." I listened to some of the stuff I was listening to at 15 and I go, "What was wrong with you?" Cheer up, kid. God. So I'm always finding new music. I hope you guys are finding new music. I hope you're finding some of it here. And I'm gonna skip the book or movie or podcast recommendation so I can give you a few more songs by these guys to listen to down there. And my new song will be there. And yeah, I have some more fun announcements coming. We have 2 more releases this year that I'll tell you about in the coming weeks, and some other fun stuff that I'll tell you all about. In the meantime, take care of yourself, take care of somebody else. We'll see you next week, and we'll have some more fun. All right, bye.